It is indeed a privilege to be part of this workshop, and especially which has been organized by Rajiv Gandhi National Institute of Youth Development, because I'm also part of the academic council and has been actually working with Professor Shivnath Deb for a very, very long time. And you also know that he is also from the Northeast. So I think it's a very beautiful interaction with all of you today. Uh, I hope everybody is okay at home during these COVID times, and you're like, thank all of you. I have also been part of NCC and NSS in my college days and my school days. And I have seen the way the mentors motivate the young students. And a lot of them are, contributing very positively to the society because of you today. So thank you so much for being there for our young people. Okay, so coming to the which is called Role of Educational Institutions and Teachers in Career Growth, Development and Guidance of Youth. This itself is a very huge topic, but I have tried to make it a little more precise because I don't want to go half an hour to 40 minutes, not more than that, because I would like to actually have more interaction with you. And so maybe my presentation will be taking around 25 at best minutes, not more than that. So if you have any questions, you can put it in the chat box for the time being, or you can keep it with me, and later on we can discuss this. Okay. So it's written here, mental health is everybody's business. Do you agree with it? Yes, we will again discuss that. And it is understood that persons make up 1/3 of the world's population. And if you're looking at India, it is 24% as young people till the age of 24, if I'm looking at it as youth per se. And that is why it is very important to see that we have such a huge resource with us. It's a very rich resource that we have got. And the more we are able to use that resource, the better will be our country, etc. So how do we go about doing that? A person called Theodore Leys, Theodore had actually a philosopher who pointed out and stated, and I find that the definition of youth which has been given by Theodore is actually very beautiful, where it has been said that youth is a time for seeking inward to find who one is, searching outward to locate one's place in life, longing for another with whom to satisfy cravings for intimacy and fulfillment. And it's a time of turbulent awakening to love and beauty, but also today darkened by loneliness and despair. And it's still, though, Theodore had given this definition many, many years back, I think it still stands true. And especially if you look at it, that today's young people still are actually more into loneliness and despair, in spite of the connectivity, in spite of having the social media, which is so much there for the young people, and they've been using that social media so much. And especially during COVID, what we have seen is that the suicide rates have increased for young people. People are reaching out with, young people have been reaching out to me online for anxiety, for depression, and suicidal ideation. And so from Mind India, we also have decided to help and reach out by starting a suicide prevention helpline. And this is something the least that we can actually do for them. So what are the different ways and contents, what is happening with these young people? So let's discuss. Let us to ourselves and to find out a little bit about ourselves. So if you can indulge me to do a small exercise with me, all right? So I would like all of you to think about 2 positive strengths or positive points of yourself. Think about it. Maybe 1 or 2 of you can also let me know what it is. Yeah. Okay. So you must have done that. So if you have done that, then the next thing that you have to think about is that who influenced you? That positive point that you have, that it has been cultivated by yourself alone on your own, no? Or yes, somebody said I love to help people in need. Very good. That's one of the positive points. Now try to find out, your will is your positive point. Great. So try to identify who influenced you for that positive point. Was it yourself? Was it some friends who had influenced you? Your family, maybe your parents, maybe um, your aunt, uncle, mama, chacha, maybe your teacher, whoever in your life. Take a time for that. Okay, family has influenced you. Now, how do you think these trends have influenced you in life? Yes, a lot of us, family has influenced us, is it not? How do you think now these positive points have influenced you in your life? A lot of you have written as family, and yes, so you see how you are also going to translate that family. Anger is the outcome of my understanding of the social drama, firstly from parents, then from my teacher. Okay, basic. So what has happened is that, why have I asked you to do this exercise is to understand that all of us, we have the influence of the environment around us, is it not? And how we look at life and the values that we have in our life is depending upon what we receive from the environment. And that is why we always say values are not taught, but it is taught. No? If you are the role model for others, then others, your young people will pick up from you. So if I'm looking at the environment as a large, and this is suppose the self with the mind here, we are getting our information from all over, from it through our senses, right? Whatever we hear, taste, touch, smell, see, all that has been influencing us from the very childhood. And of course, the environment around us, and these are the different environmental factors, the physical, the mental, emotional, intellectual, social, and the spiritual aspects of a person. Those are the influences that makes a person. So if I'm looking at personality as a whole, when when the young person is developing a personality, it, we get our information to develop a personality from three different aspects. One is how I look at myself, how I perceive myself. The second one is how others perceive me. And the third is how I perceive others. So, depending upon all that information that is coming to us from these three aspects, we build up our personality. And then the influence of whether it is more negatively oriented or positively oriented will also depend upon your perception of the world around you, the worldview, and what you have also received from them, from the environment around you. Okay. So if you look at the definition, sure, somebody else must have also, stated that, but, just to add on to that, World Health Organization said that health is a state of complete physical, mental, and social well-being, and not merely the absence of disease or infirmity. Now, suppose if you take the condition of what we are having right now of COVID-19, why have stress increased here? That physically we have been affected, and more so, I think it is more of mental and emotional and social well-being compromise right now. And what is the reason behind it? One is that perception also will depend on some aspects. Yeah, see, that is what I talked about when I said about personality, because personality is all about how you are perceiving, what the information you are getting. So I will get back to you as a question later on. So keep that thought with you who talked about perception right now. So I was coming in part of it and why it has become so disturbing for us. there are three very basic aspects why the stress because of COVID has also increased. One is that it is absolutely new. We do not have any experience of falling back into this kind of a issue or a problem in our lives. Second is that it is very ambiguous. We really don't know what is actually happening, and there's so many information which is coming towards us, and we do not know what to trust about it. And of course, the third is that there's so much of uncertainty which is there because we do not see what the future is going to hold for us too. So because of that, stress has increased, and more so it has increased for the young people. If you look at students who are in class 10, who is in class 12, they have just passed out, but they really don't, they have not been able to select their career, they have not been able to select what courses they are going to take. Class 12 also, they don't know. Some of them has gone into graduation or they have gone into the professional institutions, but they have not seen the institution. There's no physical ambience to help them create an understanding of what they are going to do in life. So what is very important right now is that positive mental well-being, which my teacher works on very, very much on this, is that our basis is on positive mental well-being. And we said our mission is to enable people to choose change. And this is where you come in as a mentor for young people. So when I'm saying positive mental well-being, what does it mean? It means that it is a state of in which the individual possesses his or her own abilities, can cope with normal stresses of life, can work productively, fruitfully, and what is the most important thing is you are able to contribute to the community. And this is what NCC is all about. That it is not only go along with me. So I support the community when I'm talking about positive mental well-being. Now, if I'm looking at needs of young people and children, these are the four basic. One is definitely of food, shelter, clothing, and security. Then we have got a psychological needs of love, affection, respect, and recognition. Especially for young people, respect and recognition is something which is very much neglected by the adult around them. Social need of friends, acceptance, belongingness, and a sense of identity of who I am. Cognitive needs are the knowledge that you're gaining, the learned opportunities and experiences, the self-expression and the self-realization of what I am and what are my strengths and abilities and what I need to do about myself. So these are the needs that we need to fulfill for a young people. And when a young person is able to fulfill these needs effectively, this person is holistically happy and holistically satisfied. So the concentration that we need to have for the development of a person, the holistic development, is areas of physical, cognitive, social, and emotional development. So how do we go about that? I will. So to do so, it is important for us to understand Maslow's theory of self-actualization. Maslow has said that we have certain needs, as I talked about the four needs of a person, of a child. So Maslow also said that it is important for us to understand what are the lower needs and what are the higher needs. The lower needs are the safety and security and the biological needs. If you're looking at the pyramid right now, you will understand that the biological needs and the safety and security needs are the most important ones, because these are the basic ones. Because we say, no, without roti kapra, how can you how can you have any higher thinking? If you have hunger in the stomach, you will not be able to do anything much about being creative. So our basic needs are something that we need to fulfill. Then comes the needs of and self-esteem. Sense of belonging is where, if you look at young people, what do? They form into groups, right? The peers become very important. Friends become very important during that age group of, say, 15 onwards. Their friends are somebody that they really want to. And if you also look at it, they will try to dress up also according to group need. Like for example, the way the hairstyle will be, putting some colors on the hair, or maybe wearing a dress or a skirt, which is something that the other girls are also wearing, or maybe the trousers are a little low, and that is the way that they will be wearing those trousers. So why am I doing it? Because I want to fit in. I want to fit in with a particular group, because my identity is also a group identity. And this is also the time when we are looking at our own identity. And that is why our self-esteem needs are also very, very high here. Then gradually we get into the cognitive needs, the thinking needs, of the learning needs, what we want to learn, what we gain from the environment, from the school environment, from the college environment. And then we get into the area of aesthetic needs, the creative needs of expressing ourselves through drama, culture. All those are the aesthetic needs also which are required. And then we gradually move to the top of self-actualization. So self-actualization means that I have been able to understand my strengths and weaknesses, and I have been able to explore my potentialities to the fullest. And these potentials are something like a never-ending business. We keep on exploring, even though we may be past beyond the youth. Every day you will learn something, and this is how we keep on having our self-actualization, of understanding ourselves. We keep on doing that, growing positively. So our job as an adult who is actually supporting these young people is to move them towards the esteem needs, cognitive needs, and the self-actualization needs. So if you are able to put that in your activities, you will see that they will be able to explore themselves more and understand their potentialities. So some of the possible ways of how young people look at themselves, very interesting. Like example, if I look at adult to adult, I always say that people grow in ages and stages. There are some young people who will mature very quickly. There are some young people who will not mature as it is expected, right? So there will be always a relation with the adult, as there will be a dependence or an independence or interdependence. So when there's dependence, of course, that means you have to make the person independent. To be independent, sometimes we also rebel too much. I'm sure we all have rebelled in our young days, is it not? No, I am not going to do this. Why will you only tell me? So what I am doing is that I'm trying to create my own identity. And very interestingly, if you look at young people, and suppose a boy of maybe 16 years, let's put it like that, and you say, "Hey, ladka, idhar aao." No, what will be his response? He will say, "Don't I have a name? Why are you calling me a ladka?" So that means what I'm trying to say is that I have an identity. Call me by my name, and this is how I'm establishing who I am. So respect and recognition of what I told earlier comes again out here. Then one of the biggest things that I'm going to talk about, so I'll come to vocation later on. Then this is the time when they're also finding their own identity sexually. Whether I am a person who likes heterosexual relationship or homosexual relationship. Do I want to get into a relationship at all? So a lot of experimentation keeps on happening. So this is in how we explore ourselves. And then they have a lot of their comments and their concepts about their social status, about who they are, the meaning in life, and a lot of political, religious, and philosophical ideologies also they start establishing during this time. Then coming to vocation, if I may ask all of you, being a teacher or being in the profession that you are, was it by choice? Somebody can put it in a chat as yes or no. Is that your first choice? No? Yes, okay. Ritura said yes, absolutely not. I'm very happy that people are very honest out here. Yeah. So some said yes, some said no. Yes, because it's very interesting to find out that some of us we we choose because that is the kind of designation that we have got. For example, a child is from a family of doctors. Mother is a doctor. Doctor, grandfather was a doctor, so you also have to become a doctor, or families of engineers. So that is how that means I have chose my vocation because it has been understood that I need to become the person what my family wants me to. Then it is sometimes we choose a vocation out of resignation. Kuch bhi nahi mila, nothing has happened in life. I tried this, and finally, oh, theek hai, chalo, school ka ek job mil gaya, college ka ek job mil gaya. Let me just stick on to that. So yes, I am there because I need a job. I couldn't find anything. So out of resignation, I may be there. And some of us, where I also fall, I feel I'm very fortunate for that it is out of inspiration because I chose to be a counseling psychologist. That is why I am. I said that I was inspired because my surrounding also created that inspiration for me. And I also look forward to those who do work in the community, to work with others. And that is why that vocation was a selection by me. So a lot of people have these career choices based on the designation, resignation, or inspiration of what we want to do in life. Okay, now let us come to to this particular area, which is one of the most important slides. If you look at it, what are the work that a young person have to do? There are always certain developmental tasks that is actually, allocated to us. Like as an adult, for example, or as a parent, we are supposed to actually look after our children or to look after our families. So in that way, what happens, when you are a young person, your developmental task also has been defined, and these are certain universal development tasks irrespective of wherever you are in the world. So one is that you're trying to be independent from parents and other adults or significant others in the family or the surrounding. So independence means also independent thinking here. Development of a realistic, stable, positive self-identity of who I am. A lot of us, I think we keep on struggling as who we are and to define ourselves, right? And knowing ourselves is a never-ending business, I think. But it is very important for us to also understand how we can create our identity by understanding ourselves, understanding the surrounding, and understanding what we want to do out of life. That's a very difficult task to do when you're young because you do not also have that adequate experience to support you, and you also don't want to take the advice or guidance from the seniors or from the adult also. And that is why there's so much of struggle for the young person. Formation of sexual identity, as I said, negotiation of peers and intimate relationships. It's very interesting how relationships are defined now. Relationships, I think, are defined nowadays by the Facebook status, right? The where there's a tag there where you say relationship, whether yes or no or on or off, and you are in a relationship. Yeah, I am. So you say on, and then you have a fight with your girlfriend or your boyfriend, and then immediately you write relationship off. So on off, all that kind of things keep on happening. So an intimate relationship is something that also leads to exploration and experimentation of the self. And one of the biggest issues that young people face is about body image, of how I look and as per the social norms or as per the peer norms. And this is also the time when they are also creating their own values. So as I said, values are taught, but at the same time, because of your experience with the environment, you are also creating your own moral and value systems with you. And the most important is the acquisition of skills for further economic independence. Okay. All right. So we have been doing career assessment. I have been doing from around 2008 onwards. And in my experience, covering more than, I don't know how many, maybe 20,000, 30,000 students by till now, a lot of times I feel that we stop our children from growing as they want to grow. Can you look at all these statements which have been given? And these are real statements which have been shared with me. I have not put the names because we are not supposed to share the names of the students. But see how they have not been able to go ahead with what they want to do because of parents and other significant stakeholders. Yeah, absolutely. To be a police officer, but I can't because my mother says it's not a job for girls. See, look at the social norm that is happening out here. I did not want to go for engineering, but my father forced me. So this particular boy, I would just want to share a little more about this particular boy. He, in fact, he has been a very bright student, and he came and did his career assessment when he was in class 10, and he is actually very good in literature. And so we said it's good for you to take up humanities and later on maybe go for journalism or something like that. And but the father forced him to take up science because he said no, you will be able to earn more. And then finally he got into engineering. He got into a very good engineering college in Sikkim, Manipal. And by the second, he stopped going to college. He's taking weed, cannabis. He was just inside the room. He was suffering from depression, but he did not share it with anybody. And I think the only contact he had was the sweetie person, the person who used to deliver the food to his room. After the second year, the college called up the father to say that your son has not been attending the whole year, and we cannot keep him in the college. So he was brought back, and he was in my clinic. We talked about it, and now he is in a local college in Guwahati. He is doing his graduation. Not that his father is very happy, but at least I can say that he is doing English and he is happy. But he is also upset because with his marks, he could have got into a very good college in Delhi, and he could have been able to do his English from a major college of his choice. But because of his father, he was not able to do so. Then, look at my parents. I'm a failure because I chose hotel management, going to depression. This particular boy also, my dad said, "Oh, you just want to be a cook, is it? So why did I make you, study so much? Why did I put you in a good school? If you want to do cooking, you could have just learned from your mother." So, but he still was a rebellious child, so he protested. And he said, "No, I still want to go for hotel management," and he did so. Though he's happy doing it, but at the same time, he goes through bouts of depression. We have online counseling with him. I keep on doing it for him, help him to stabilize. Thankfully, his depression is not so much that we need to medicate him. But of course, because he wants to be accepted by the father and he's not able to get that recognition and acceptance from his father, and his mother has not been able to support him much because the mother doesn't have much voice in the family. So there again, it goes. The other one, how fashion designing can help you. The father is saying that do home science, at least you will be able to look after your home well. So look at the kind of social norms that we have got, the expectation from the parents. I think that is what, so a lot of times I feel that we need to educate our parents as to on career counseling, and we do that quite a bit when we go into schools. but it is not enough. We need to do more. What is career counseling? No, so career counseling is basically where you are able to understand what your strengths and weaknesses are, how you would like to go about your interests, and what you're good at. So without education and training, individuals have higher chance of living in poverty. And I think it is very much understood. If you're looking at unemployment and the unskilled we have got, uh, we would have been a better position in India if economically, if we had more skilled personnel. And enhancing our human resource and a young person is very important here. So career is the most topic of concern in today's world, and we need to prioritize there. So what is not career counseling is that it is also important to remember that career counselors are not academic advisors. So so a lot of them says that, oh, I want to go for engineering. I just want to know which institution is very good. No, that is not what a career counselor will do. So what we do is basically we tell them what the areas you can choose. So the assessment during the session, the career guidance or the career counselor act as a guide or a path to explore the different career options best suited to the individual's ability based on their ability, aptitude, interest, and personality. I'll go a little more on details on that. However, there is no test to establish what you should or should not do. Please keep that in mind. It gives you a pathway. Career counseling and career assessment gives you a pathway as to this may be the best way, and these can be your options. But it is always dependent upon the choice or the selection of the student and the family. So a lot of them, of course, if they go by that path, they are successful. But suppose you may, like for example, one father, or not both of them, in fact, came actually. The parents came and said, you said that my boy who is in class 11 now, he will be good. He will be good in science, so we put him in science, but he has failed. The first term is terrible. So how do you say that your career actually assessment worked? I said he is good. He has the ability and the aptitude, but if he's not motivated enough, he will fail in all. So the intrinsic motivation, it has to be there for anybody to succeed. So the 8 elements of career counseling, what are the things that you need to look at as a person, as a mentor for young people? What you need to look at is that the career awareness, that for the child should know what are different options that the person has. Need to be aware of their own self, or what I am interested in, what are my abilities, to appreciate and to have the attitude to work and to learn, to have decision-making skills, to be economically aware that what is it that I am looking at economically and financially, because everybody has got different personalities and different way of looking at life. One boy, he said, ma'am, I want a job which will make me buy a big car, and I would just want to walk into your compound and show it to you. So, I mean, he has that economic awareness. Skill awareness and beginning of competencies. So what competencies you need? So for that, again, employability skills are very important, and the educational awareness of it. So you will always find 3 types of students. That is the experience that I have got in this last 24 years of working in this field. That first one is who is very sure about what I want to do. That I want to go in for science, I want to go in for medicine, I want to go in for engineering, I want to go in for architecture, whatever it is. So these are students who are absolutely confident about what they want to do in their life and what career they would like to build for themselves. The second type is that those are students, they know that they have the potential, but they have got no idea of how to utilize that potential in them. They know that, okay, I'm a people person, I know I'm good with people, I can interact with them, but I really don't know what kind of a career I will fit into. And the third area where I've got no idea at all. No? There are those who have got absolutely no idea as to what career path is there, what they want for themselves, whether I want to do a course or not, it doesn't matter. No, let somebody decide for me and I will just do it. It is something like that. So career assessment, when we are looking at how it is being done, it is done through psychometric testing. And psychometric testing is a standardized procedure with scientifically designed multiple choice statement to find out your interest, ability, aptitude, and personality. I will just take a quick, I want to show you one more the career assessment report that usually is generated from our online counseling. So I will try to put that in right now. Please bear with me. Yeah. So the one that we do in Mind India, which is a 29-page report that comes in, and I have taken Vishal's permission to share this with you. He's an 18-year-old child who is studying in a reputed school in Guwahati, and he's now doing sociology in Delhi University. Of course, they have now online classes, but he's got admission there. He also did his career assessment when he was in class 10, and then he again did it after he completed his class 12. And if you uh, so the first is that we try to find out what is the personal profiling of the person. So we find out what is the current stage of planning. So for Vishal, he said that, ma'am, I'm confused. I know what I want to do, but I'm a little confused. So accordingly, with the computerized test, what the path can be for Vishal. Then the personality. So this particular test looks at the personality of the person, interests. The personality of Vishal is that he is an introvert person, he is a sensing and thinking person, and he is perceiving, he is not very organized. So, accordingly, we tell you what it means. So, what does introvert mean? What does sensing means? So, all the details of the description of his personality is been stated out here. And then we get into the strengths. So what are the strengths? As I said, we need to understand the strength of the person. Based on that, we can talk about a career that the person can choose. So he's optimistic and energetic. He's a good listener and he's quite relaxed and he's spontaneous and rational too. Then your career interest type comes in. Your career interest also is depending upon. So if you look at the first bar, it is social. So his career interest is where he wants to be more with people. And then again, all the details are there. And what motivates him to work, what kind of career he will like is where there will be a little more creativity, some adventure, a little bit of independence, and there should be continuous learning. So those are the aspects that he wanted. Style, whether you are how you actually learn is basically for him it is more by listening or auditory. So that is your learning style. And talk about your skills and abilities. Your skills and abilities, he has come to 81 to 100%. So numerical ability is average. Logical, he needs to improve. So we also then, when we do the career counseling part of it, we educate him and we also tell him of how he can enhance his logical ability. His verbal ability has been very good. Visualizing, those are also good. Your leadership is also good. So finally, we tell him, I'll come to the last part of it so that it's easier. So then we select the career path for him. So out there, if you see, there are comments of good choice and avoid also. So we also tell him what he needs to avoid based on his career, his personality, and his skills and abilities. And we give him a very comprehensive way of his career path. So his career path has come as sociology, where he can, go for social work, human rights, things like that. And we tell them the nature of work and things like that. So this is how, okay, stop sharing that and I'll come back to the next one. So what I give was an example of the career psychometric test that is usually done, and we have modified and profile and done the profiling. So as I told you, so these are the areas that we looked at. Now, can education institutions help? Number one is that I think it's very important for us to help explore the interest and passion of people, of students. So to do that, we should give them opportunity to learn new skills. So the school can also have that kind of workshops. It can also have, there are a lot of now institutions where they bring in a lot of other people to talk about it, to find out their interest and passion, to consult a career counselor, and your teachers also know who you are. So I think consulting your teachers also becomes important. One of the biggest elements that we need to do is to talk about life skills and employability skills. And we have been doing that for a lot of colleges and for higher secondary schools also, and for schools on life skills training. Life skills training are which are prescribed by WHO, World Health Organization, as the 10 basic psychosocial skills which are required for all of us, irrespective of any age group. And employability skills are skills, for example, how to face an interview, how to write your resume, what is your, for example, on personality development, how you need to also have your positive body language. And those are very important. For example, you need to have a group discussion. Our Northeast children, they are very good in academics. They are very good in theory work. But when it comes to actually group work, they fail. For example, a lot of students who go for IIT competitions entrance, they've cracked the theory papers, but when it comes to group discussions, they fail because they wait for their turn. They do not know how to be assertive enough to go ahead and talk before others. So these are things that we need to have. There can be a career corner in your school where you put in different information, and there are so many databases which are already there. You can keep on doing. Part is a periodic career talks for students and parents are very, very important here, and to organize seminars and career melas. So career fairs where you can have different companies coming in and sharing that these are the kind of need that we have got, because sometimes what is needed in the market and what actually the students go for, they do not match. So this is where the seminars and the career melas can help us. Okay. So to end with, I think this is an ode to all of you. This is a thank you to all of you. And this is what has been said by Kofi Annan, and who has been the General Secretary of UN. And I feel this is something to share with you, as you have made people listen, you have made people care, and you have taught us that whether we are poor or prosperous, we have only one world to share. And you have taught young people that they do have the power to change the world. So let us watch them excel by preparing adolescents to face the challenges that lie ahead. You are helping them to move into the adult world and make this world a much happier place to live. So thank you very much. And thank you very much, Rajiv Gandhi National Institute of Youth Development, for giving me this opportunity. Thank you.